During a couple of our visits to the University of Oklahoma, we witnessed a stunning ignorance from the pro-choice students of science,
It's a parasite, essentially.
history,
The same people who argue that this is a baby. They are the white Christian men.
the basic critical thinking necessary to follow an analogy,
Fetus is a human being, just like an African slave was a human being when they said they weren't.
I can't believe you're comparing it. We've been having this conversation.
and some of the worst arguments for abortion we've ever heard.
Wait,
I know, but they
can you be a
don't keep it.
patient if you
But
don't like sign in?
Now, I'm finding that no one on the University of Oklahoma campus knows biology. It's just disastrous how bad the arguments are out here. Yeah, they're like, you can't do this unless you bring a girl. We're all men. Where'd Rachel go? They're over. We've been out. Hey, I don't have a vagina, but I do believe in human rights. So the females that are out here with us, hey, listen.
I'm
Hey.
on my period right now. What's up?
Hey, I'm not on my period right now, that's for sure. But if I claimed it, I guess we would be in a weird place, wouldn't we?
We're going to be reviewing some University of Oklahoma footage that we got at Outreach last year because we're going to go back. And none of this is fake.
These are all real students. They're not paid actors.
They actually believe this stuff, and this is how they argue.
The best, seemingly, they have to offer.
So we're going to review it. Hopefully they review it, and they come back this time with some better arguments.
I do think they do.
Or
I
they
don't
just
think
get
a
'em at-
fetus is a human being yet.
What is it?
A fetus. It's a parasite, essentially.
A human fetus is a parasite?
Yes. Scientifically speaking, yes.
Scientifically speaking, parasites are related to their hosts,
No.
so it's not a parasite, scientifically
Well,
speaking.
yes, but the like definition of a parasite is something that lives off of another person and couldn't live on its own.
Well, that's also the definition of every child ever.
That's true.
So everybody's a parasite?
But you're caring for it.
You
You're
go-
not hosting it and giving up your own like
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, mothers caring for their children should not be described as a parasitic relationship.
This is the type of girl that I really would not want to invite to a baby shower.
Hey,
Not that I'd be planning.
happy parasite. What would they say? What would they say at a baby shower?
The funniest thing about this clip to me is that she just admits it
Oh yeah,
immediately,
I love it.
but
She
you're
was
gonna
so-
see, we have more clips of this girl. She tries to argue it again though, like 20 minutes later, even though she just gives it up.
Yeah, no, she's like, you're right. You're right. Oh, I see. You're right. But do it again.
Have you seen that Patrick meme, the Patrick Star meme,
Yeah.
where he's like, explain something to him? Like, yes. Explains it. Yes. And so therefore, no.
Exactly. That's what she went. She's like, oh, this doesn't work, but something works. And as we'll see, she comes back to it.
What about if it's like growing in the wrong place?
Rolling in the wrong place?
Growing. Like an ectopic
Oh, yeah.
pregnancies.
Yeah, I'm an advocate of scientific progress in that area. I think we should develop medical technologies to move them
To move them like into the womb or
move them
out
to
of-
better places. I believe in the Hippocratic Oath for doctors, do no harm. Doctors used to say, do no harm to any patient. And so I think
Well,
that's better than
they
just
still
kill
do.
them.
Like,
Is
they
this-
still take the Hippocratic Oath.
Wait,
I know, but they
can
don't
you be a
keep
patient
it.
if you
But that-
don't
well,
like
that's
sign
different.
in?
Yes. Yes, you can be a patient if you don't sign in. Do you think that we should
Oh,
only
no.
help people who can sign in?
No, I mean that's not what I
That's
said.
ho- that's
I was
hardcore.
Just,
That's
I was
cold.
Just
It's cold.
I guess a question, because it's like I guess like
It's mean to all those people who
could
can't
they-
sign in.
It's becoming more frequent that you run into pro aborts that make arguments like this. I had one that was so convinced of the argument, if you don't have to buy 2 plane tickets, that means that the baby is not a person.
Yeah.
Like, they're sitting in their mother's womb.
Yeah.
So why would they need another plane ticket?
Are we really going to decide who is and is not a human being based on whether they have a plane ticket? Or like, what would be even
My
dumber?
My 3-month-old doesn't need a plane ticket. Still.
Not a human.
Sorry, we're gonna get off of this.
Well, no.
Just a level in
What
itself.
I was gonna say is like, you could actually like, there's an array of bad arguments like this. They can't sign in, or like they're not on the census. I mean, wouldn't that be dumb?
Are fetuses part of the census?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
They're
Well, actually, I don't know if they are or not. I shouldn't say no so quickly. You may have to, if you're pregnant, you may record that if you get a census, but I'm not.
I don't
But it doesn't matter. I don't think our human rights are predicated on the census. That'd be crazy.
They kind of are,
That's
if you
like
think about it,
that's
'cause
like
the
crazy 19th century
census
dehumanization stuff.
delegates how federal
Maybe we should
money
count them
is.
as 3/5, huh?
I don't know if I said that.
I know, but you're kind of trending that direction.
Was
They
it?
don't do it well.
I don't know. You keep saying stuff, trying things out, like maybe if they're not on the census, I don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Why not?
I think when she's doing the why not, I think it's like she's basically trying to tell me I'm stupid. Like, why not? It's like, you're a freaking idiot. And I'm just looking at her, I'm like, stop overestimating your intelligence. 'Cause she is she's like low key trying to basically say, oh, you're stupid.
One of the clips I didn't throw into this girl was she was talking about the image of a doctor pulling a baby out of the womb, and she was saying, oh, he doesn't seem like he has very good aim. It's all just like this disgusting, pretentious, like, let's just make the preborn child seem like they're not a person type thing. It's just
Not an argument, just
Not
a
an
sentiment.
Yeah.
Just like, let me put forth a sentiment of babies, yuck, they should die, in the place of an argument. And for those of you who are like, it's not very nice and Christian to deride these people's arguments in such a way, how else are we going to get them to stop being made? Sometimes if you can't reason with somebody, you've got to let them understand that their view is laughable.
But you wouldn't know if you were aborted. You wouldn't feel.
I wouldn't know, but that wouldn't make it okay. I wouldn't know if you killed me tonight while I was in REM sleep. Like, I mean,
You had lived a life already, and you were already a person with.
but it wouldn't be okay. If I got in a coma, or if I was like if you gave me a bunch of painkillers and I didn't feel anything, and I was just totally blown out of my mind or something, it wouldn't be okay to kill me because I'm still a human.
No, but you're not feasting off of another person, and like it's
Well,
a different situation.
but see,
it's
but-
hard to compare to anything else.
But think about the argument, like a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
How 6-month-old.
Yeah.
How many 6-month-olds do you think get and prepare their own food?
None.
Right. So the argument that we can
But they
ha-
can
we
get
can
it from
we
someone else. You can't just.
but they got to
take
get it
out
from
and put
somebody.
in somebody else. You can't do that.
But like a human being doesn't lose their rights or their value or their protection from murder based on their inability to provide for themselves.
She comes out saying they're parasites, and then she says that they're feasting on their mothers in the wombs, and then it's okay to kill them because they can't feel it and they don't know about it. And then when it's like, yeah, but that's not why murder's wrong because you know about it or you feel about it, then it's like she shifts to like, yeah, but these are people that can, like, you know, feed themselves. And you're like, well, you can't feed yourself until you're like, I don't know, 1 or something. And even then, and it's like, it doesn't matter. She's just rapid fire dehumanization. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this.
You can really tell when somebody's got their conclusion and then they're just trying to get the arguments to make the conclusion work. This girl has her conclusion, and then she's just going to try everything to make that conclusion work. It doesn't matter what the arguments are. She didn't get there because of reason. She's there because of convenience.
She wants the end.
She said feasting. Feasting. Feasting on your mother.
She said feasting, feasting, feasting.
The people that support slavery today do not even have a comparable proportionality to the people that don't.
No,
But
yeah,
how
the
many people
proportions are
support
very
slavery?
similar. So back in the day, slavery was, say half the country liked it, half the country didn't. But even among the half that didn't want to criminalize it. There was a very small number of people who wanted to abolish and criminalize slavery.
Every time you guys see the camera shake and you say, this cameraman sucks, stop thinking that. This individual here for the most of the day,
The guy with the she/her buttons.
yeah, this guy, was blocking my camera. So I had to move.
Yeah, it's not like Sam's like filming and going.
Let's get a little bit more action.
He's dodging the pro-aborts who know that their arguments aren't good enough,
Uh-huh.
and that they'd be better off just blocking.
And they were told to keep their religious beliefs to themselves, and that it was their plantation, their prerogative.
I'm not even talking about
And
religion right
people
now.
would say, you will never abolish slavery because no one believes it. So right now when you say, oh, but that's inherently wrong, like whenever you're saying, oh, but that's not what people thought back in the day. People like anti-abolitionist back in the day said, no, it's not inherently
So
wrong.
you're saying that in 100 years from now, we're going to realize that abortion is,
Yes.
is not a bad thing. It's a bad
Is
thing.
inherently wrong.
It's inherently wrong.
Like, think about it. Say
why are we
150,
enforcing it right now?
because we're wrong, like that earlier culture was wrong about slavery.
But how are you sure that this applies to the same case? Slavery is something and abortion
No,
is something
they said
else.
slavery was justified because they weren't fully human. People tell me
But
abortion is
that's not even
justified because they're
scientific.
not fully human.
That's not even scientific.
And that's not scientific either.
No, what you're saying is not
No,
scientific.
go
because a fetus,
go to the Bazell and pick up a book on the development of human beings, biological development book. Get an embryological textbook, and it'll tell you they're human from the moment of conception, and they undergo development. They're
It's a
always
living,
human.
It's a living being, but so is bacteria.
No, but it's
so
a
is
living
microbes.
human being. You developed in your mother's womb, and you are a human from conception through development and birth. And I say you're human and you're valuable no matter what the majority says. Just like people like me said that slaves were human and they were valuable no matter what the majority says.
I understand that you want to hold that moral standpoint, but
I'm
you
just
cannot
saying
force
it's-
it on other people. If you don't want to get abortion,
But you
don't
gotta,
get abortion.
you gotta,
It's
you gotta,
very simple, sir.
you have to impose, you have to, like, so don't like slavery, don't own a slave. Is that simple? You say don't like abortion, don't get an abortion.
Yeah.
Don't like slavery, don't own a slave. That's the logic of
something
your
different.
argument.
But that's something different because
No, I'm saying it's the logic of your argument. You're saying don't impose moral beliefs. Don't impose your morality.
no, something so.
Abolitionists
so
were
contested,
imposing the
something so
morality of
contested as
anti-slavery.
abortion. Something so contested as abortion. It's not even.
Slavery was as contested or more contested in the 19th century. It was popularly
contested.
tolerated,
It was not contested,
and
but
it was legal. It was
contested.
protected by the courts and by the laws.
No.
And a small minority of
But who
people
was
said it should be
contested?
abolished.
It was contested for the white people, for the Europeans.
White people and black people
No, but
both
black
stood up and
people
said
were not-
abolition should
black
happen.
People were not like, go ahead and slave me.
Right, and yeah, no, they weren't.
So how are
The
you
human
saying
beings,
that it was contested?
the human beings who are victims of oppression usually don't get to speak up on it, and so other people have to speak up for them.
Yes, but a fetus is not a human being that
Yes,
cannot speak.
a fetus is a human being, just like an African slave was a human being when they said they weren't.
I can't believe you're comparing it over.
He's been having this conversation.
They said they weren't. It's not an analogy. They said slavery is justified.
But
Pro-slavery
it was a
people.
human speaking
It was
for
the
another
same people
human.
that
The
say
ana-
babies
You're
are
a
The ana-
man.
It's the same people that say babies are people. That's the first time she says it.
You know, like these are the same people that say babies are people, and there's like a little version of themselves in their own brain going,
No, no.
you slip.
So the analogy,
We're not
listen,
even a
all right,
living
chill.
thing.
The analogy is to the abolitionists, not to the abortion and slavery, different kinds of evil. But when people were for slavery, they justified it using arguments like they're not as human or fully human. Therefore, slavery is
That
right.
can't be scientifically proven
They
wrong.
would say things like this: "Hey, you don't like slavery? Don't own a slave. I'm not forcing my slavery." They would say things
if
like
you don't
that.
like an abortion, don't get an abortion.
Exactly.
Exactly. See,
So that's
the
the
point.
analogy.
I like an abortion.
Don't like slavery, don't own a slave
Okay,
is
but that's
exactly
about-
like don't like
You
abortion.
were talking about
Yeah.
how.
Do
were
you
talking
realize
about
you just
No, you don't
agreed?
realize. You don't realize that you are stupid. Oh my God.
Do you
Sir,
realize?
you just agreed with me.
No, you.
I'm saying that in the 19th century, people justified the dehumanizing evil of slavery by saying,
were the
don't
people
like
that
slavery,
justified
don't
Who?
own a
Who were
slave.
they? Who were
They
they?
were the
Pro-slavery
Christians.
people.
They're the same
Who
people who
were
argue
they?
that this
Who
is
were
a
they?
baby. They are the white Christian men.
There are people twisting the Bible for slavery. The people that were
Yes,
opposing
and there are
slavery,
people twisting the Bible to punish women.
there were people who were opposing slavery on the grounds that it was against the law
I'll
of
just say
God.
one thing and then I'm go.
Okay, yeah, we all have to go.
For
actually.
for your argument about slavery, it can be scientifically, biologically proven that the argument that these are not human.
But there were
can
people
be
that
proven
were-
wrong. But you cannot prove me wrong that a fetus is not a human being.
It doesn't have the same
My biochem
capabilities.
professor literally would
A
disagree.
human fetus is definitely a
I'm
human
sorry,
being.
sir, what did you
In-
study?
A human fetus in
He
the
actually
fetal
studied
stage,
history at this college.
philosophy and history of science.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't study biology.
Is it a horse fetus?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Get a biology book. Here, let's not argue. You go look at it on your own,
I
and
do
you
in
find
Dale.
out
I do in Dale.
whether a human in the fetal stage of a development is a human being in the fetal stage of a development.
I
Because
do.
that's what I think.
I do in Dale actually, and It's fun.
I just
how-
think you're lying to me, man.
I
Human-
wish you didn't.
Bring
think
your
that.
textbook out here next time we come
It's
and
on-
show
it's-
me.
It's online.
But sir,
I don't
Show
have
it to me. Show me where they are teaching at the school that a human
Right behind you.
embryo
Right
is
behind
not
you.
a human being.
201, right behind you.
All right. Hey, you bring it. I will look at it. I'll go knock on the
not a
door of
physical
201.
thing.
201 is a changing class.
I'm
It's
sorry,
not always
but
the
you
same.
do realize that you can't go to a class you're not paying for, right? Like,
He can bring me a textbook and show it to me
it's
if he
not
wants.
in the textbook.
Or she.
okay.
Sorry.
The professor
No, you're
is
not.
telling them.
Well, it's hard. Dude, you sound like a male. I'm sorry. It's what it sounds like.
But wait,
And you're just an
that's
asshat.
literally not about. I would like
Whenever
for him
he's-
to know that he's. They're not allowed to show you what is. You have to pay for the class. You realize that, right?
Sure.
I'm sorry-
I'm not going to
I'm sorry
argue with
you're
that.
not informed.
Yeah, I don't
Girl
care.
that just showed me her textbook like a little bit ago. She wasn't allowed to do that. To like pull out her laptop and show me.
She could pull up the textbook.
But guys,
I could-
it's not a blind
I could pull up Google right now. I opened Google and did a Google image search of a 14-week fetus and showed a guy a picture, and he denied that it was real.
They said that you can't go into a class. They
Oh, yeah.
can't show you the text.
Yeah. When your argument is so bad that you're like reverting to like, well, we can't show you the textbook because it's against the rules on my syllabus or something.
Yeah. Well, you try to simplify it for them. Just show me the textbook. They go, we can't show you the textbook.
We can't show you our textbooks
No.
because you have not enrolled in our courses.
Yeah.
It's like,
It automatically puts like a blur effect on the text when you look at it.
yeah. Immediately, when you make an argument like that, you know you don't have an argument for what you're wanting to argue for.
Well, it just shows the elitism of these kids.
Oh, that too, yeah.
You know, they think, oh man, we're at school, we're learning all this stuff, we're paying all this money, so we must have something exclusive. But I could literally go and sit in on every single class that these kids take.
And any textbook that they can get a hold of, we can get a hold of. And all of the textbooks that they could get a hold of back up what we're saying about when a human being's life begins. And that's what we're just trying to see in the textbook.
Yeah.
But they know that's in the textbooks.
Yeah.
That's why they don't want to show it.
Dumb, stupid.
Bad.
The only thing that's different
For you doing the
is
same
that
with
the
baby
mother.
is the same as me making an argument about a parasite. Like it's not the same, so you really can't
Well, I can
argue.
argue against the parasite because I know scientifically speaking it's not a parasite.
What's your
It's
scientific
progeny.
background?
My scientific background, I can look at any scientific textbook that'll define parasite and show you that a parasite is never the progeny of its host. The progeny of its host is called progeny. You were never your mom's parasite. You were your mom's baby. And before that, you were a human in the embryological stage of development, fetal stage of development, and then you were born, you were a human newborn, and then you were a human adolescent.
Yeah, but I
And then
think
you went through
life starts
puberty
at
and you were a
birth.
human
I don't think
teenager.
Life starts at conception.
I think life starts when life starts, which is a synonym for conception. When is life conceived, which is begins. I think life begins at the beginning of life, and that we develop.
What defines
She came back around. Like, so this is the girl who said they're a parasite, and then I answered exactly why they aren't parasites, scientifically speaking. And then 10 minutes later, she's back to calling them parasites as though she didn't already agree. Okay, scientifically speaking, they're not parasites. Because it doesn't matter what science says. It matters what they want to be true, and what they want to be true is for them to be parasites so they can destroy them.
Yeah, you'll notice people doing this sometimes. I knew this girl. I was arguing with her one time, not about abortion, totally different. And I showed her how her argument was wrong. And then 10 minutes later, she's arguing with someone else using the same argument that she now knows is wrong.
And she may have admitted to you in your argument, okay, I see that my argument's wrong.
Yes.
But maybe that guy over there doesn't know how it's wrong, so I'll go argue with him.
But the girl who did that with me was smarter because she wasn't trying it with me. This girl, let's try it with you again. Like maybe he forgot about this or something.
Yeah.
But try it again.
Yeah. Give it a shot.
I was just asking a question. I just didn't know. I don't know who goes on the census. Like, I don't know if you're in the hospital on like a ventilator and you're not conscious, do you still, but you're brain dead, are you still on the census? If you can't pay.
I think it's down to the discretion of your family because you list on the census, you list within household. So I think it really depends on that, and I think also there is some leeway in census taking, like to account for like.
But what's the?
And I don't
for our
think
purposes,
that
what's the
doesn't-
point of all
Oh,
that?
that was just a
That
question.
doesn't have a
Just a-
point. We're
Sorry.
talking about
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I was just
What's your favorite
clarifying.
dinosaur? I mean,
That's
if we're
a
just going to
good
ask random
question.
questions.
Oh, it's a pterodactyl. I think they're
Pterodactyl?
Really cool.
Technically,
There's a
not a dinosaur. Apparently, a flying reptile, but I'm with you. It's a dinosaur.
Like from which period? This is the Jurassic
You could-
period, the Triassic
If you
period, the-
tell me what your favorite dinosaur is and you rightly identify the period, I'll be very impressed.
I can't remember.
I'll give you Triassic. That's when all the best known ones are.
Is it Triassic?
Yep.
I like trilobites.
All the dinosaurs who star in Jurassic Park are really from the
They look
Triassic
like
period.
A trilobite is a dinosaur. It's
Just
like
Triassic
a
Park
version
didn't
of
sound
a
very good, did it?
The only dinosaur fact I know is that the Land Before Time, they just mix up like a bunch of dinosaurs that just look cool visually, but they're all from like different periods, so they technically wouldn't be
Yeah.
around.
Well,
I'm
if you get real honest with paleontology, a lot of that stuff is there's a lot of they just kind of put things in categories to make it neat.
It's
It's not
just to
that
make it.
Well, taxonomy is important because it tracks evolutionary relationships.
sure. Are you a cladist or what?
A what?
Are you into cladistics or traditional taxonomy based on morphology?
Oh, I think they both have their uses because I think that the traditional stuff that we have been in use since before we could correctly map evolutionary relationships that still has purpose colloquially.
Yeah. If you take a cladogram and you pair it to the fossil record and you create a taxonomy based on the fossil record and then a taxonomy based on genetics and a taxonomy based on morphology, you're going to get
See, that's the thing with language.
pretty different things. It's a way of systematizing stuff and make.
There's so much.
If you love it,
information.
want to argue for it,
Saurolophus. Yeah.
Parasaurolophus, the one with the cell on its head.
Yeah, the one that's ducky. in the Land
Yeah,
Before
that's a
Time.
good one,
That's
ducky.
my favorite one.
Step on a crack, break your mother's back, ducky.
Yeah.
Land Before Time, doesn't he say that?
I gotta go to my meeting, but it was nice.
All right,
talking to you.
it's good. Oh, you guys. I start to peter out. I'm like, well, I just don't think people are very honest with their arguments.
So, yes, we will be returning to the University of Oklahoma and looking for better arguments for abortion and against abolition, and hopefully better dialogue with the student body.